true love.
It irritated Jacob so much that the Bible says in verse 2, he became what? He became angry. The Bible says in verse 2, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, the woman he loved, but she what? Got on his nerves. He got full of anger. And the Bible says he was full of anger. And he said, am I in God's place? He told Rachel, back up. Am I in God's place? Am I in God's stead? Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of God? He said, you act like it's me. I'm having children with Leah, so it ain't me. So that means that God is withholding from you. So back off. And sometimes when you get, when there are people and there are things going on, and you feeling up, and then all of a sudden you just bust. And when people look at you, they be like, calm down, you okay? But they don't realize that your breakdown didn't occur from the event today. You know where your breakdown came from? Your breakdown came from unresolved issues in your childhood. Your breakdown came from your boss or your co-workers messing with you for the last 2 years. Your breakdown came from not having enough money to pay your bills. And your breakdown came from you having health issues. And your breakdown came because you wanted to do more for God, but for some reason, you seemed like you just kept being caught up. And your breakdown came from just wanting to try to be holy, but people kept trying to bring you into an unholy state. And all of a sudden, on one day, you just bust. And somebody say, hey, it's okay. And you at Burger King, because they didn't do it your way. And you somebody had a meltdown at Burger King, and everybody looking and say, hey, it's just a burger, but they don't realize it ain't the burger. If everybody really would understand, you know what, I'm not even really tripping. That's not the issue. The issue is, I have been holding in a whole bunch of stuff all of these years. And now, and sometimes you can hold stuff in your heart for so long, you forget what the situation was. Sometimes you can hold stuff in your heart for so long, you actually forgot about the incident. You just holding in the pain. You just holding in the anger. And when somebody says, hey, what's happening? You can't even articulate it. Because it's like, it just becomes sewage. You sit trash in a place long enough, it'll all melt in together and just become this sewage, and it'll lose its original shape. And some of our pain and some of our sorrow and some of the stuff that we're holding in, we sit there yelling at our children and yelling at our spouses and yelling at our friends. And you know what? The real problem ain't even them. And you know what? And they don't understand, because you throwing up on them being sick from stuff that you just been holding in. See, you have life poison. That's what you have. You have life poison. You haven't been able to digest the circumstances, the storms, and the trials. People who just walk around angry every day. They walk around mad every day. They mad at life. They mad at daddy. They mad at mama. They mad at the family. They mad at everybody. Mad at the job. Then they mad at God. And do you know how some people got to act around you? Some people got to split it up, and the group said, well, okay, we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk to her. We got to talk to her like this, because we don't know what her mood going to be today. Because either she a little angry, she a lot of angry, she in this kind of moody angry. We don't know what kind of anger. Nobody think you happy. They just trying to find out what kind of mood you in today. And everybody around you is walking on eggshells. And nobody really wants to be around you. And the problem is, you may want to be around everybody else. And now you're feeling all of this loneliness, but you're lonely because you're angry. And because you're angry, nobody want to be around you. So really, you're inflicting yourself, and the cycle continues. The most recent case that I read, the little boy became so angry, found a gun, filled it up with bullets, and was going to go to the school, and was going to take care of everybody that was messing with him. And he just started shooting. And then all of a sudden, the news cameras are running to the school. All of a sudden, they said that this is a shame. All of a sudden, the principals and the administration are bringing in counselors. But you know when they should have brought in a counselor? They should have brought in counselors when there was just small tears. They should have made some changes. Somebody was ignoring the whispers. Somebody needed to address the parents and say, you didn't see the countenance of your child change when they walked through the door? You didn't realize that they were going to bed early, waking up in the middle of the night? You didn't see that their spirit was changed? And maybe you were so focused, maybe you didn't hear the whispers. But if you don't hear the whispers, eventually you'll hear the what? You'll hear the screams, and then everybody says, oh, it's a tragedy. And sometimes people get so filled up with anger and wrath and pain and sorrow, they leave the church. And then we don't realize it until they've been gone for 6 months. And somebody says, well, where is such and such? Well, you were making fun of them because they were making too many prayer requests. You thought that they were too emotional. That's what you thought. You thought, man, they need to get a grip on what they're going through. They're a little bit too emotional during worship. And when they were singing, and when they were crying out to God, and when they were raising hands, and when they were trying to express and communicate, when they were trying to talk, you were trying to avoid them because they got a lot of stuff going on. And what you were trying to do is you were trying to maneuver around them because you didn't want to be bothered with it today. But they were whispering to you. Hey, listen, Jesus is my medicine. You want me to take my medicine? You need me to take my medicine, because when I don't take my medicine, then all of a sudden, I have issue retention. Not fluid retention. I have issue, and I start holding in issues. And when I don't take my medicine, I'm not able to decrease weight. That means I become toxic. You need me to take my medicine because it keeps my blood pressure at a good place. You need me to take my medicine. You need me to take Jesus because when I take Jesus, I can hug you and I don't stab you. When I take Jesus, I can be there for you instead of being on top of you. When I take Jesus, I'm in a good way and I'm in a good spirit, and I may even be able to pray for you. But when I don't take my medicine, I get confused. I'm tired of holding it in. I've been holding it in for 15 years. I've been holding it in for 20 years. I've been keeping this for too long. And I gotta get it out. Because if you keep it in, it starts to kill what's healthy inside of you. Some of you this morning, you're holding it in. And you're holding it in because you feel like that's what strength is. Strength is holding it in. But that thing will begin to consume you. And you want to scream. And inside, you sit there saying, and on side, hello, how are you doing, everybody? Good, it's good to see everybody. And you just as gentle as a dove on the outside, but inside. And you're hoping somebody hear you. You're hoping that somebody can see it. And you know what, sometimes we wait on people if they could see it. That if they could see it, we would want to communicate. If they could just understand. Sometimes you're looking for somebody just to understand. Because you don't want to expose it to somebody who has no understanding. So sometimes you're just waiting on somebody if they could just hear your scream. My father wrote a song. It says, in my deep despair, in the corner of my quiet place, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, who is that I hear screaming in my ear? Angels quickly go, let my child know to cry. I'm right here by your side.
Let me put Jesus on your mind.